5 takeaways from Trump's long, contentious UN speech. This is The Hill giving the story. So I'll read this to you, and then we'll get into a couple of the videos that we'll play. Number 1, the United Nations wasn't there for us. Trump criticized the UN as irrelevant, failing in global security. All they seem to do is write a really strongly worded letter and then never follow up on that letter, he said. Rob, I'm sure you have the videos on these here. If you have them one by one, I wouldn't mind going through them. Deflects blame for stable Gaza, Ukraine talks, calls climate change greatest con job ever. Let's watch a few of them here. Here's President Trump. Go for it.
I didn't think of it at the time because I was too busy working to save millions of lives. That is the saving and stopping of these wars. But later I realized that the United Nations wasn't there for us. They weren't there. I thought of it really after the fact, not during these negotiations, which were not easy. That being the case, what is the purpose of the United Nations? The UN has such tremendous potential. I've always said it. It has such tremendous, tremendous potential, but it's not even coming close to living up to that potential. For the most part, at least for now, all they seem to do is write a really strongly worded letter and then never follow that letter up. It's empty words, and empty words don't solve war. The only thing that solves war and wars is action. Now, after ending all of these wars and
Okay, Rob. So that's that one. What other clips do we have, Rob?
I have him slamming climate change as a hoax.
Play the climate change one. So here's Trump on climate change at the UN.
Global warming, not happening. You know, it used to be global cooling. If you look back years ago in the 1920s and the 1930s, they said, global cooling will kill the world. We have to do something. Then they said global warming will kill the world. But then it started getting cooler, so now they could just call it climate change because that way they can't miss. It's climate change. Because if it goes higher or lower, whatever the hell happens, there's climate change. It's the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world, in my opinion. Climate change, no matter what happens, you're involved in that. No more global warming, no more global cooling. All of these predictions made by the United Nations and many others, often for bad reasons, were wrong. They were made by stupid people that have cost their countries fortunes and given those same countries no chance for success. If you don't get away from this green scam, your country is going to fail. And
I love that. I'll pause you. There's a clip about immigration. We'll come to it here in a minute. Adam, your thoughts on
Go ahead,
Trump?
Benny. I'm just pulling something up real quick.
Oh, well, first of all, I think what he said, one of the main ones he said was, which struck out to me, which I didn't know that this was even a stat. In 2024, this is what he said, and I quote, the UN budgeted $372 million in cash assistance to support migrants journeying into the United States, okay? The UN also provided food, shelter, and transportation and debit cards to illegal aliens. The UN is supposed to stop invasions, not create them, and not finance them. It's the United States, okay? And he also went on, Pat, and he said, he kind of, to Tom, a jab at, what's her name, von der Leyen. He said,
von der Leyen, yeah, EU, she's president of the EU Economic Council.
Clowning him. He said, they're buying oil and gas from Russia while fighting Russia. And he said, it's very embarrassing to them. When I found out about it, I can tell you that. And he said he stopped 7 wars, and all he got was an escalator mess up and a teleprompter that doesn't work. And I want to say something. He handled it like a pro. Okay, and I'll do the 2 things. First, the first thing, they said that they messed with his audio. There was reports that his audio, they lowered it and everybody else's was loud. Number 1. Number 2, he shows up and the teleprompter is not working. And like I said, like a
Is this
it, Rob? Yep. Yeah, go ahead.
very much appreciated.
You can tell he's a little
And I
bit
don't mind
nerves.
making this speech without a teleprompter because the teleprompter is not working. I feel very happy to be up here with you nevertheless, and that way you speak more from the heart. I can only say that whoever's operating this teleprompter is in big trouble.
So funny. And then, Rob, can you, because I want to talk about the escalator. Do you have the one that I sent you about? And this is my problem with this, Pat. First of all, the escalator stops as him and Melania are about to start going up, and she actually jolts forward, all right? Rob, you have?
Yeah, I do. Hang on one
Okay, yeah, do your thing. And by the way, the UN staffer members had previously, this is according to The Times, not the New York Times, but The Times, I think in England, that they previously joked about turning off the escalator, okay? And then they've joked around turning them off, the elevators and the escalators, and tell him that they ran out of money, so he'd have to walk up the stairs. Yeah, could you show this really fast? And watch Melania, Tom. She kind of jerks forward because it stops. Right?
She's wearing high heels.
Yeah, no,
so this could have been very bad.
Yeah.
She's a pro,
But
so she's not
boom,
affected
stop,
by
boom.
it. Yeah.
Look at this. Ready? Done. Now, watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now, do you understand why this is so freaking dangerous? If someone was wanting to do something bad, this is like a coordinated. I know they're trying to be funny, but you freeze the target. He stops. He's not moving. Okay, and considering all the stuff that's going on right now, including him taking a bullet, this type of stuff can't be tolerated. And Caroline Levitt said they're already doing an investigation to who's doing it. Because think about it, guys. That's a plan. If you can get that to happen beforehand or after the math bat, who's to say that somebody can be like, you know what? We're going to get underneath the escalator, because you guys have seen them at the malls when they're working on them. Let's just put a little device under it because we know he's going to stop. Okay? This is extremely problematic for me, because he's still, Pat, security-wise or whoever the hell's in charge, he's still touchable, meaning they could still get to him and ruin, like, dude, for 9 seconds, he's standing still. This was in New York. God forbid he was in foreign land. Mike, if something else is going on, you take the shot. And by the way, I'm talking about prosecuted whoever the hell that was, because, bro, this is the president, the leader of the free world, and you guys made him a stationary target. And I think, dude, and these are UN staffers, Pat. I would, oh my God. And on top of them funding an illegal invasion here, I'm done with that.
So there's two things here. There's the if it happens once, it could be an accident. But if it's the audio that you're saying, I didn't hear the audio, but I'm hearing what you're saying. If it's the audio, it's a teleprompter, and it's the escalator going up, you're messing with them. Now, it could be somebody on the AV team, or it could be somebody at the top, because the AV team doesn't deal with the escalator team, doesn't deal with the teleprompter. Well, the AV and the teleprompter will be the same, but the escalator is a different team. Or it has to be a collaborated effort from somebody at the top. Or it could be the fact that there's 0.0003% chance that all of that happens at the same time.
Yeah.
And you saw it. Like, he literally, think about it, guys. I don't know about escalators, but the moment they touched it, it stops. That means somebody was like, now, off, power, escalator.
You're right. Exactly.
That's a plan.
Exactly.
No, you're right.
That's a plan.
I agree.
Yeah.
You're right. So
I'm not cool with that
Adam,
at
your
all.
thoughts?
Okay, this speech was the most consequential, most important speech of our lifetime. And I'm not being hyperbolic here. It was that important. The last time that Trump spoke at the UN was 6 years ago. They laughed at him. They literally laughed at him. You remember the whole speech with Seth Meyers and Obama, and they clowned him, and he just sat there and took it at I think it was the White House Correspondents' Dinner, whatever it was. He said, okay, 6 years ago, Trump was at the UN. They laughed at him. This time, they knew what was coming. They knew. We talk about there's a coordinated attack, it's a conspiracy. What are the chances it happened to no other leaders? The escalator stops, meaning they didn't want him to even show up because he was on his way to give the speech. The teleprompter stops working all of a sudden, and the audio isn't working as well. This seems like a coordinated attack. It happened to no other leaders. I could be wrong, but prove me wrong. What he said was the most important speech of our lifetime, and he called out everybody Trump to their face. They're sitting there in the audience like this. Do you remember the movie Half Baked? I think it was Dave Chappelle walked into the room and he goes, F you, F you, F you, you're cool, F you, I'm out.
Yeah.
That's literally what Trump did. And he was telling the truth. He called out weak leaders. He called out the UN globalist migration agenda. He called the global warming scam. He called them out. And everyone was like, oh my God. And if you take an unbiased, non-sensitive view, he's 100% right. At one point, he said,
was right.
You know, they say that Trump was right about everything. That's true. I'm actually really good at this. This is what strong, effective leadership looks like. And there's people out there that are blind with rage about Trump. If you love America and you hate Trump, you can hate Trump all you want. What he just did was the truth. And it needed to be said.
And by the way, while he's there, he's talking about immigration, Rob. If you can tell him you're destroying your countries.
Oh, yeah.
Watch this clip here. Go for it.
I love this.
Europe is in serious trouble. They've been invaded by a force of illegal aliens like nobody's ever seen before. Illegal aliens are pouring into Europe. Nobody's doing anything to change it, to get them out. It's not sustainable. And because they choose to be politically correct, they're doing just absolutely nothing about it. And I have to say, I look at London, where you have a terrible mayor, terrible, terrible mayor, and it's been so changed. Now they want to go to Sharia law, but you're in a different country. You can't do that. Both the immigration and their suicidal energy ideas will be the death of Western Europe if something is not done immediately. This cannot be sustained.
That's a pretty big call out right there. Massive call out. Is this a different one, Rob?
This is where Trump says he was right about everything.
Go ahead.
I'm really good at predicting things, you know. They actually said during the campaign, they had a hat, the best-selling hat. Trump was right about everything. And I don't say that in a braggadocious way, but it's true. I've been right about everything. I'm really good at this stuff. The countries are going to hell. Proud to see.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, bro.
Your thoughts, Tom.
Well, I'm gonna break this down because there's a lot of receipts, and I'm gonna step away from opinion, and I'm gonna break down things.
I was.
Number one, illegal immigration is perpetrated by the UN. They want it because it's part of globalism. What is globalism? Globalism is the destruction of sovereignty and the mixture of people that will be run by a globalist, socialist elite. That's what globalism, that's what the foundation are. So the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab wearing that Star Wars, outfit, which was so weird, but I'm just commenting on what he was wearing, and Soros and everything. This is illegal immigration, globalism, hand in hand. And then they use climate change as a lever. Kofi Annan, if you go look at ChatGPT and you look for it, it's all been scrubbed. It has absolutely been scrubbed because Kofi Annan did say that climate change was a wonderful opportunity to redistribute wealth around the world. Exactly. From where? From the rich countries to the poor countries. What? Harmonizing everything under globalism. That's what it's all about. Trump was absolutely right about that. He's also right that all the UN does is write letters. Long ago, there was a very satirical movie that was very bad in a few ways, but called Team America. But there's this little scene where Hans Brix was the UN guy, and he comes walking in and he says, if you don't do what we say, we will be very upset. And then what? Well, we'll write you a letter telling you how upset we are. And then he pulls a lever and he drops him into a shark tank. That's what I think of you, you powerless Muppet, you know? And that commentary by Trey Parker, who is a conservative on certain levels, was correct. He's exactly correct. And that's what Trump was talking about. He's not talking about Team America, but he's making the same observation. These guys just write letters. And lastly, enough has been said about this, but I believe they were screwing with him with all the glitches and things that went on. I believe they were screwing with him. And is this the most important speech of our lifetimes? No, I don't think so. But it was a very important speech in Trump's administration after all the things he's tried to do, going to Alaska and getting people to talk, going to Iceland, all the things he's tried to do. And now he's going to the UN and saying, look, this is what I'm doing. And he's having to stand up to a lot of things. Having to stand up to allies of Europeans. He's having to stand up to the UN. He's having to stand up to a lot of things. And I think he's doing a great job with it. And he was drawing a line in the sand. That's what I think about it. And the UN, we should not misunderstand just how dangerous the UN is when it gets its own army. And it gets its own army through, we'll use white trucks that say UN. It'll be a peacekeeping force where they borrow soldiers, men and women in arms from all these countries, and you put them in the white trucks as an army following an agenda, not about the countries they come from, but the UN's agenda. To me, that's dangerous. And so, Woodrow Wilson, League of Nations, all the things that started this is the horrible, polluted downstream pond of good intentions of getting international countries to work together.
I fully agree with Tom. I want to ask you a question. Don't take this the wrong way. What was a more important speech than this? The only one I can think of was Reagan, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Well, you said in our lifetime.
That's what I'm saying. Well,
there's a lot that's happened.
Well, there's a little bit
Tom's
age,
a
little bit age gap here. A lot of people don't remember that. I'm not messing with you. Name another important
Always
speech.
messing with me.
Tom, name another important speech like this. I believe this was the most important speech for where the world is today, calling out the UN.
How about fourscore?
Tom wasn't there for 7 years ago, Pat.
I was in the bathroom at the time when Lincoln said this.
But seriously, you're knowledgeable about this. I literally
By the way, you know what I love? Okay, guys, this is what I love. You posted a video yesterday of a few months back of me reacting to you saying, you're never going to get me to vote for Trump, right?
Yeah.
And then in my reaction, I say, I don't think people realize how big of a Trump supporter Adam is today. Like literally insane Trump supporter. I love the fact that this message got you the way it did, which, by the way, I do think it's a very important message because he is coming back and saying, right, I told you it was going to happen. And by the way, this is Adam from 4 years ago. Go ahead. Listen to this. Rob, it's going to take a long time. Don't worry about it.
No, I got it.
Doesn't
Let me
bring
go
that
back
out
to
of
the question
people at all.
For the fifth time. This is where the audience gets upset sometimes because you don't answer questions.
No matter what you
For the
say,
fifth
you're not
time.
going to convince me to vote for fucking Trump.
So
whatever,
by the way,
whatever way you want to pose the question, I'm not going to say you got it.
So this is
Big Matt too.
This is
But
what's happening.
if you go to the Post, I titled it, I said, I'm willing
I know.
to be reasonable,
Yeah.
which is power versus
but
force.
you changed. That's the part.
Yeah, well,
you didn't have it at first. Then you were willing.
And I think a lot of people need to understand that.
Yeah.
There's so many people filled
Yeah.
with rage. I can't believe Trump.
Yeah.
I'm the biggest Trump fan at this point because I was willing to be like, well, maybe, they were lying. Oh my God. Because I was willing to reason and be reasonable.
And you know what this example is, folks? I mean, at least for me. The example is the fact that you need patience, okay? You need reason. You're not going to get them all, but you're going to get some of them. You'll get many of them, many. Even some stubborn guys that were former hardcore Jewish athlete in Miami that was on the Kim Kardashian wedding with celebrity that half the girls in Miami, the guys who date someone in Miami, before they marry them, they text one guy.
Relax.
Even if that's the guy. Okay, I'm just telling you, right? Even if it's like people can change. But, there's limits to Adam's change. Buying a car, not good for society. Getting married, having a family, kids, too much
But
pressure.
being reasonable, I think, is one of them. And I want to thank you.
Can I
for that.
answer your
Let's not
question
make it
real
too
quick?
much of a stretch. Go ahead, Tom.
I think Martin Luther King, I have a dream, and I think JFK.
Nobody was alive then, Tom.
And I
Were you
think-
alive then?
Very much so.
Oh, wow.
And
All right.
I also think, and by the way, and shortly thereafter, I went to a Vietnam funeral. So, yeah, pick on me. I think when JFK, his inaugural address about ask not what you can do, what your country can do for you, ask what you do for your country, and establishing the Peace Corps, I think that was huge. I think I agree with you. Reagan at the Berlin Wall was internationally there. But I really think Martin Luther King had a dream. And then when JFK stood at Rice University and said, I challenge us to use our ingenuity to put a man on the moon by the end of the decade.
Okay, so I should have said in my lifetime.
Yeah,
Because in
that's-
your lifetime,
little more.
JFK,
Can we just
MLK,
skip
and
with
according to
this age
PBD,
stuff, guys?
Abraham
Can
Lincoln.
we skip this age stuff? Can we just you know what? Why don't you take a Tylenol, Tom and Adam? Why don't
Yeah,
you do that?
you know
no,
what?
No,
Yeah, I'm
why
gonna do
don't
that.
you? For all of you guys that were going through the faith over fear
Thank you.
shirt, that, by the way, thousands
I love you guys.
of
That's
orders.
what I'm talking about.
Thousands of orders. Awesome. For people to have that kind of boldness to put that out there, Vinny, gotta respect it.
You have it's literally the cross. You're letting everybody know who you are in the front, and you're letting them know I have faith and I'm not afraid of anything. And I got so many Manex and so many DMs from girls that are like, "Where you never have anything for us?" Well, guess what? We got for a female shirt. We'll have other colors coming, but for right now, we have a teal shirt for the women with faith over fear. And then guess what? Yesterday, Leonetta also put the hoodie. We have the hoodie because it's gonna, it's the
Yeah, cool.
season's changing, and there we go. That actually looks pretty
Fantastic.
bad. That
Go to
looks sick.
VCmerch.com. Place your faith over fear. Jackets, shirts, ladies, get a gift for your wife. Gents, get a gift for your wife. and then pick up a PBD Podcast hat, Future Looks Bright, whatever other gear you want to add to it as well. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.